At Easter dinner, my mother-in-law excluded me from every gift, so I exposed her loyalty game. At Easter dinner, everyone got a personalized gift, except me. Again. I said it out loud, my voice slicing through the clinking of wine glasses and the forced laughter around the table. My cousin Emily froze, her hand clutching a monogrammed scarf. My brother-in-law James, smug as ever, didn't even look up from his engraved whiskey glass. The room went quiet, but not one of them, not my husband Michael, not my sister Ava, not even my best friend Sophia, met my eyes. It was the third year in a row, the third year of being erased at this table, in this family, while everyone else unwrapped their little tokens of belonging. I'm Claire, 32, and I've been part of this family for a decade. Married to Michael for 7 years, Easter at his parents' house in suburban Ohio is a tradition, one I used to love, but somewhere along the way, I became invisible. Last year, I swallowed it, told myself it was an oversight. The year before, I made excuses. Maybe they forgot in the rush. But this time, as I sat empty-handed, watching Michael's mother, Linda, beam while handing out gifts she'd clearly spent months planning, the truth hit like a slap. This wasn't a mistake. It was deliberate. The confrontation came faster than I meant it to. So, Linda, I said, my tone sharper than the carving knife on the table, is there a reason I'm left out again? Or is this just tradition now? The words felt like spitting glass. Linda's smile didn't falter, but her eyes narrowed, cold and unyielding. Oh, Claire, don't be dramatic, she said, waving a hand. We just didn't think you'd care for trinkets. Trinkets? As if the leather-bound journal for Ava or the custom cufflinks for James were meaningless. The table stayed meeting. Michael, sitting next to me, shifted in his chair but said nothing. Sophia, across from me, stared at her plate like it held the secrets of the universe. I wanted to scream, to flip the table, to demand why I was being singled out, but I didn't. I've always been the peacemaker, the one who smooths things over, so I forced a smile, muttered something about being fine, and let the conversation lurch back to normal. My hand shook as I cut into my ham, but nobody noticed, or they pretended not to. Michael squeezed my knee under the table, a half-hearted gesture that felt more like pity than support. Dinner dragged on. Emily gushed about her scarf. James made a show of admiring his cufflinks. I nodded along, my face a mask, while inside something burned. It wasn't just the gifts. It was the message. You don't belong. You're not one of us. And the worst part, I'd let it slide for years. I'd let them make me feel small, and I'd thank them for it. As we cleared the plates, I caught Ava whispering to Linda in the kitchen, their heads bent together, glancing my way. Ava, my older sister, who'd always been my rock, why wasn't she defending me? Why was she in on this? I stacked dishes in the sink, my mind racing. I'd been passive too long, swallowing slights to keep the peace, but that moment, with the clatter of porcelain and the sting of exclusion still fresh, something shifted. I wasn't going to let this go. Not this time. The rest of the evening passed in a blur of small talk and forced smiles. I helped clear the table, my hands moving on autopilot while my mind churned. Why was I the only one left out? What had I done, or not done, to deserve this? The question gnawed at me, but I kept my face neutral, nodding as Emily rambled about her new job and James boasted about his golf game. Michael stayed close, hovering like he sensed I was a bomb about to go off, but he didn't bring up the gift thing. Not once. That hurt almost as much as Linda's dismissal. Back home, in our quiet Cleveland apartment, I waited for him to say something. Anything. We sat on the couch, the TV droning in the background, some true crime show neither of us was watching. I stared at my hands, still raw from scrubbing dishes at his parents' house. Michael, I finally said, my voice low, why didn't you back me up tonight? He sighed, rubbing his neck. That telltale sign he was dodging, Claire, you know how Mom is. She didn't mean anything by it. You're blowing this out of proportion. Blowing it out of proportion? The words landed like a punch. I wanted to yell, to shake him, to make him see how much this hurt. But I didn't. I just nodded, my throat tight, and went to bed early, curling up on my side of the mattress, feeling smaller than ever. The next day, I tried to shake it off. I went to work, marketing coordinator at a mid-sized firm, plastering on my professional smile, but the sting followed me. At lunch, I scrolled through my phone, half hoping for an apology text from Ava or Sophia. Nothing. Instead, I saw Sophia's Instagram story, her at the Easter dinner, posing with her gift, a custom candle with her initials, feeling so loved. The caption read. My stomach twisted. She hadn't even checked on me. I kept it together, but the hurt festered. I started replaying every family event, every slight I'd brushed off, the time Linda forgot to invite me to her book club. The way Ava always changed the subject when I brought up my job, was I paranoid? Or had this been building for years? My motivation, pride, the need to reclaim my self-respect, kept me from letting it go. I wasn't going to be the family doormat anymore. Then, a twist. While sorting laundry that evening, I found a receipt in Michael's jacket pocket. It was from a local jeweler, dated 2 weeks before Easter, for a custom necklace. My heart raced. Had he planned a gift for me after all? Was it a surprise he hadn't given yet? But when I asked him about it, casually, his face went blank for a split second before he mumbled, "Oh, that's for Mom's birthday next month." His eyes didn't meet mine, I didn't push, but the lie hung in the air. Why would he hide a gift for Linda? Or was it for someone else? That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, the receipt burning a hole in my thoughts. Michael's secrecy, Ava's whispers, Sophia's silence, it was all connected, wasn't it? I didn't know how, but I was done waiting for answers to fall into my lap. I needed to dig. The thought scared me, but it also lit something inside me. A spark of defiance I hadn't felt in years. The next morning, I woke with a plan. No more sitting back, no more hoping for apologies that wouldn't come. If I wanted answers, I'd have to find them myself. My pride, my need to reclaim my place in this family, pushed me forward. I started small, combing through what I knew. Linda's cold dismissal, Ava's whispers, Michael's lie about the necklace receipt. It all pointed to something bigger. But what? I began with Ava. She'd always been my ally, or so I thought. I texted her, keeping it light. "Hey, can we grab coffee? Need to catch up?" She agreed, but her reply felt stiff. Not the usual warmth. We met at a cafe downtown, the kind with exposed brick and overpriced lattes. Ava looked tired, her eyes darting away when I brought up Easter. "It was just a mix-up. Claire," she said, stirring her coffee too fast. "You know how Mom gets with her projects." I didn't buy it. Linda was meticulous. Every gift had been planned to the letter. I pressed, gently, "Ava, you were whispering with her in the kitchen. What was that about?" Her face flushed, and she mumbled something about wedding plans for her upcoming engagement. It didn't add up. Ava wasn't even engaged yet. That's when I met Hannah, my unexpected ally. She was a coworker, sharp and nosy in the best way, who'd overheard me venting about Easter at the office. After Ava left, I stayed at the cafe, scribbling theories in a notebook. Hannah slid into the seat across from me, uninvited but welcome. "Family drama, huh?" she said, grinning. I spilled the basics, leaving out the necklace receipt. She leaned in, eyes gleaming. "Sounds like they're hiding something. You need to snoop. Claire, check emails, phones, whatever. People always slip up. I laughed, half shocked, but her words stuck. Snooping wasn't my style until now. That night, I waited until Michael was asleep. His phone was on the nightstand, passcode unchanged from last year. My hands shook as I scrolled through his texts, nothing obvious with Linda or Ava, but then I saw messages with Sophia, my best friend. They were cryptic. She's asking questions. Just stick to the plan. And another, from Sophia. Don't worry, I've got her handled. My stomach dropped. Sophia, who'd been my confidant since college, was in on this, whatever this was. That was twist number 1. Twist number 2 came the next day. I dug deeper, logging into our shared cloud account where Michael backed up his photos, buried in a folder labeled work. I found a picture of the necklace from the receipt. It wasn't for Linda. The pendant was an emerald, my birthstone, not hers. My heart raced. Had Michael planned a gift for me, but been stopped? Or was it for someone else entirely? Someone he was lying about? The betrayal felt like a knife, twisting deeper. Hannah became my sounding board. Over lunch, she pushed me to confront Sophia, but I wasn't ready. Instead, I watched. I noticed how Sophia avoided me at group hangouts, how Linda's calls to Michael spiked. I started tracking patterns, jotting down dates and conversations. It felt paranoid, but it also felt powerful. For the first time, I wasn't just reacting, I was strategizing. Then, a deep layer revealed itself. Hannah, digging online, found an old social media post from Linda's sister, Karen, who hadn't been at Easter. It was a vague rant about family secrets and protecting the legacy. Karen hadn't spoken to Linda in years. According to Michael, could she know something? I hesitated, then sent her a message, posing as a distant cousin researching family history. It was a long shot, but I was running out of moves. By the end of the week, I had more questions than answers, but I also had leverage. Sophia's texts, the necklace photo, Karen's cryptic post, they were pieces of a puzzle I was determined to solve. The tension was suffocating, but I wasn't backing down, not anymore. Karen's reply came faster than I expected. Her message was short but loaded. If you're asking about Linda's family traditions, you're barking up a dangerous tree. Meet me if you want the truth. My pulse raced. Dangerous? I arranged to meet her at a diner an hour away, far from prying eyes. Hannah insisted on coming, saying I needed backup. I didn't argue. Her instincts had been right so far. At the diner, Karen was a wiry woman with sharp eyes and a smoker's rasp. She didn't waste time. Linda's been running the family like a cult since our dad died, she said, sipping black coffee. Those gifts? They're not love. They're loyalty tests. You didn't get one because you're not in her circle. My jaw tightened. Circle? Karen leaned in, voice low. There's money involved. A trust fund, set up by our dad. Linda controls it. And she's paranoid about outsiders getting a cut. I froze. Michael had never mentioned a trust fund. Was that why he lied about the necklace? Was he protecting his share? Karen's words unlocked the puzzle. The necklace wasn't for me. It was for Ava, a secret engagement gift Michael had been roped into hiding because Linda didn't approve of Ava's fiancé. Sophia's texts were about keeping me distracted, ensuring I didn't dig into the family's financial secrets. Linda's exclusion wasn't just personal. It was strategic, a way to keep me from questioning her control. The betrayal cut deeper than I'd imagined. My husband, my best friend, my sister, all complicit. I drove home. Hannah's warnings about confronting them ringing in my ears. But I couldn't wait. That night, I chose my retaliation, a private exposure. I invited Michael, Ava, Sophia, and Linda to our apartment under the pretense of a family talk. They arrived, wary but unsuspecting. I laid it all out. The receipt, Sophia's texts, Karen's revelations about the trust fund. My voice shook. But I didn't stop. You've treated me like an outsider for years, I said, locking eyes with Linda. But I'm done being invisible. Michael stammered, trying to explain the necklace. Ava burst into tears, saying she was scared of losing her share. Sophia just sat there, Silent, her face pale. Linda, though, didn't flinch. "You're not family, Claire," she said coldly. "You never were." The words should have broken me, but they didn't. I was past that. I chose active revenge. I'd already contacted a lawyer. Thanks to Hannah's connections, to look into the trust fund's legality, Karen had proof of Linda's mismanagement, documents she'd kept from their fallout years ago. I handed Linda a copy of my lawyer's letter, outlining potential fraud charges. "You can keep your circle," I told her. "But you'll answer for this." Michael begged me to reconsider, but I was done compromising. Ava called later, apologizing, but I wasn't ready to forgive. Sophia vanished from my life. Her betrayal too raw. The lawyer's investigation is ongoing, and I don't know what'll happen. But for the first time, I feel like I'm standing up, not just surviving. Linda's grip is slipping. And I'm the one who shook it loose.